Hi guys, my name is Derek. I created this video in the hopes that it would really clarify a lot of questions that students might have, and in the hopes that um, just to lower like the pain points in the assignment. So just to reiterate, please attend the lectures. This video is meant only as supplementary material. Yeah, so please thoroughly read the PDF. Email me if I missed anything. Yeah, so let me just see. Yeah, so the main idea of this assignment is to teach you how Unix style shell works by having you guys implement a simplified command line interpreter in Java. So like a CLI basically. So I think maybe a lot of you don't know how like the command line works. There are like commands like cd, grep, cat, touch, etc. And I think this assignment is to like basically give you like a gentle introduction to those types of commands. So as a pre-assignment, as the PDF says, please use grep effectively to find a file called preassignment.txt, etc. and other basic commands to find this class as per the PDF description. I think you just have to follow what the PDF says in the beginning. It's to basically just introduce, just to, give you like more exposure to like these commands. I'll also include like a second video of basically how some basic commands in these in the shell works. So basically the programming assignment is to build a base simplified shell like a REPL. I will explain REPL later. Basic commands like pwd, present working directory, ls, which basically lists like the components of a directory. Cd is basically changing directory. Cat is like, I think, taking the inputs and outputting the contents of that file. And head, tail, grep, double word count, unique, etc. Redirection and piping, this sign and this sign, which I'll explain later. So commands can be combined into pipelines, which I'll explain later. The REPL loop basically stands for read, eval, print, and loop. Basically repeatedly reads user input, evaluates it, and prints until the user types exit. So that's like the essence of the REPL loop. The key ideas to take here is like the pipes and filters pattern. Each command is a filter that transfers input into output, and filters can be chained together with pipes. I'll also have like a diagram later to basically show you what it is. So subcommand categories just basically are divided into three as per like the PDF describes. Some commands cannot take input, example like pwd, which is present working directory. Some require input like head. Some cannot produce output. I think you guys can figure the rest out yourself. I really do recommend like playing around with the shell a little bit just to get like a better understanding and tinker around with it. I think that's the best way to learn. So error handling, you must detect invalid commands, missing files, bad pipes, or like missing parameters, and respond with a correct error message using the given message enum. It's under message.java if you look at the skeleton shell code provided. So testing here, you're provided like JUnit tests, all sequential tests.java. I think this is basically amalgamation of like 4 different tests right here. But this specific Java file will have all the JUnit tests, so you can just run all of this. Or like what I did was like I commented out. So if you look at the all sequential test.java, it basically consists of like these 4 classes. I commented out like 3 of them, and then I started with like working directory tests, because like once you try to have the tests, it basically the unit test can be too much, so I basically broke it into fourths, and then once I was confident that it was working, I moved on. I scaled it up by uncommenting text processing test.class, REPL test.class, redirection test.class, or I think you can just run the specific Java files. I think that's also like a way to handle this, handle the JUnit tests. But at the end, you should pass all JUnit tests. So the implementation constraints, you can only modify sequential repl.java and filter subclasses. The comments in the files that you cannot modify say that you should not modify them if you're not supposed to modify them. So if it says do not modify in the comments, do not modify it. So make sure to like read like the top of the comment section. So just to get into like the meats of the assignment, concepts that could help when coding, like what the heck is a filter? A filter is a program component that takes an input and transforms it in some way and produces an output. So it's like it can be a little bit abstract, but I think that a lot of power comes with that abstraction. So like basically each filter does one job, and filters can be chained using pipes. So I'm giving like an analogy here just to basically help you guys. Think of it as like a water pipe system. Filter basically is the equivalent of like the main components of the water pipe system. Pipe would be like the connector, and the pipeline would be the whole chain. So here, filter 1 would be this, filter 2 would be this, filter 3 would be this. So like grep could go here, or cat could go here, grep could go here, and WC could go here, you know? And pipe is like that line that we talked about, or it could be this, you know? And basically it has an output. And the whole chain is called the pipeline. So example, I'll include a second video, but I encourage you to like type this into the shell and try, like cat file.txt, a file. But what this command does in the shell is like, or the terminal, a filter that reads a file and outputs its contents. Grep error. Basically, this is a filter that takes text as input and outputs only lines with the word error. So WC, a filter that takes text and outputs the number if lines, words, and characters. So yeah, it basically outputs like 3 values. So together you would type cat file.txt, grep error, WC, and you would see like 3 errors in the file.txt. So that's what it means. I'll like include a second video as a supplementary material to help you guys understand. Just to basically help you guys understand, like filter is like the interface here, as you can see. Sequential filter extends filter, and sequential filter is basically split into 3 basic parts. I mean, I think in the actual Java files, all of these are congregated into one directory. But like it's really important, I think, to understand like these 3 categories are different. Like one, I'm not going to give the answer because that's for you guys to figure out, but like basically, well, each of them are like a source filter, so it basically has no piped input, and most produce output. So one of the 3 columns here basically aligns with like a transform filter. It requires like piped input and produce piped output. And here, and one of the 3 is like a sync filter, and it requires no piped input, but no piped output. Yeah, so it's important to please refer to the PDF. It explains really well like these 3 subcases. So once you're actually writing like the functions, like this affects like whether you have set next prev or set prev next, or I forget the exact function name, but that I'm giving you guys a hint, you know, whether to include that or not, and that would basically like make you guys like pass or not pass like the JUnit tests. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. I'll include a second video for you guys as for your reference. Thank you.